minutes past 11, coming up to 11:11 on the 22nd of August 2022. So this is going to be in 3 minutes time, just less than 3 minutes time. Quite a nice alignment. Let's see what happens. What am I doing exactly when that alignment occurs? It's also 22 degrees here, and we live at 22. There's 22s everywhere I look, Darnie. Do you know why? Tell me why! And I'm going to search in Google for how to cut a string cut up in JavaScript. How to cut up a string in Python in JavaScript. No thanks. The slice method extracts a part of a string. The slice method returns the extracted part of a new string. The slice method does not change the original string. The start and end parameters specifies the part of the string to extract. Great, that's what I wanted to know. 2 minutes to go. Alright, so we'll try streaming this. Quickly get to YouTube. 1 minute to go. 10 minutes past 11. Okay, this is live. Watch this. And let's start streaming now.
Hey, business owner, look, please stop using bullet points in
just coming up to 11:11.
Your presentations. Look, if you're a business owner, no doubt you probably
take my sound down, and you can see exactly what. There it was, did you see that? That was good fun, wasn't it? So as usual, we need to make a text file for today. Debug system 220822, and we've got this Google search. That's where we started. End up with this. This.
These natural patches made to remove localized fat are smashing sales rapidly, and they're finally back in stock. Parxolon patches designed and manufactured in the United States that use the latest advances in biotechnology to eliminate localized fat in the abdomen naturally. The patches are placed before
says Venusian starseed transmission. And many starseeds on the Earth plane have a connection with Venus. Many having passed through Venus as part of the process of stepping down their vibration to the denser vibration of the Earth plane. And as always, open body, open mind. And with the in-breath, the invitation of light from the horizon, 360 degrees into the body of bone and blood, into the bones, blood, and cells of the body. Light. And on the out-breath, a purging and releasing of lower energies that you've picked up in the 3D matrix, sending them back to the universe, back to the light, allowing more light and space in your energy field. And following that cycle of breath again, on the in-breath, light into the chakra system, crown to base. Anywhere you've picked up lower energies or holding lower energies on the out-breath, the invitation is to release those energies, sending them back to the light, back to the universe, allowing more space in your chakra system, your etheric body. And as always, let's call your team in spirit of the highest light resonance, your higher selves, your monadic self, the oversoul, all 5D to 12D helpers, guides, angels, archangels, star beings, star races, specialist teams in spirit. Come be with you now, come be with you now. And breathe and feeling the click, the connection in your energy field. Let's call the archangels of the horizontal plane. Beginning in the east, the place of the rising sun, with Raphael, archangel of air, healer magician. The symbol of this angel is a crystal wand, and the energy emerald green fire. Calling that fire as you focus on the wand into space, to hold your space, to hold the space. Breathe and open. To the south is Michael, archangel of fire, warrior, protector angel. The symbol of this angel is a sword of flaming blue light, and the energy, electric blue fire. Calling that fire as you focus on the sword into space, to hold the space, protecting you from lower energies. Is Gabriel, archangel of water, messenger angel, angel of the dream time. The symbol of this angel is a silver chalice, and the energy, diamond white fire. Invite that fire as you focus on the symbol, the chalice, to hold the space, to hold the space.
Joining us now is Sri Chinmoy. He is director of the United Nations Meditation Group. He's the author of more than 300 books on meditation and yoga, in addition to being an artist and musician. And I understand that I may address you as Guru, and that you are a God-realized spiritual master. What is God-realized, and how does one achieve it?
One achieves God realization through meditation and prayer. And a God-realized person is he who has established a free access to the inner pilot within him.
Now, what is your personal philosophy behind your particular spiritual path?
Our personal philosophy is very simple.
Down into the earth plane, down into the structure you're sitting or meditating in. Down into the walls around you, the floor beneath you, the ceiling above you. Closing off the space, the entire space, windows, doors. And bring that energy down through the head, through the crown chakra, down through the head. Like a column of descending light down. Through the head to the throat and down. Through the throat to the heart. Anchoring into the heart, opening up the inner channel from heart upwards. That fire as you focus on the symbol, the chalice. Messenger angel. Messenger angel.
divine love, divine devotion, and divine surrender, unlike the human love, human devotion, and human surrender. It's very simple.
Spiritual. Now, what is your personal philosophy behind your particular spiritual path?
Our personal philosophy is very simple. Personal philosophy is very personal philosophy.
Spiritual.
And divine devotion. Our personal philosophy is very simple. Divine love, divine devotion, and divine surrender, unlike the human love, human devotion, and human surrender.
How does that affect decisions you make in everyday living?
It affects at every moment. When you offer divine love, we do not expect anything from others in return. We just love because we feel that inside that person is the living reality which we call the Supreme. And when we devote ourselves divinely to an individual, we feel that we are reaching the source within us. And then when we make a divine surrender, we feel that our unlit part has surrendered to the most illumined part within us. It is not the surrender of a slave to the master, but it is the surrender of one's unlit reality to the most illumined reality within him. So this is how we distinguish the two.
We just had a very long and interesting discussion on meditation. How important is meditation in your spiritual path?
It is the most important thing in our path, and meditation is important for all the path that one has to walk along.
Well, now I understand that you're an exponent of, and I may not pronounce this correctly, Shakti Yoga. Can you explain what Shakti Yoga is?
No, I'm not.
You are not an exponent of that? Do you practice any particular physical exercise?
No, I do not advocate hatha yoga, physical postures. Only I advocate concentration, meditation, and contemplation.
Do you have a mantra, as the people before were discussing?
No, I do not give mantras. I find it is redundant. Again, I have nothing to say against people who are practicing mantra, but only on our path, I must say, it is on our path it is redundant, but for others, I'm sure it is most effective.
Why is it redundant for you?
Because in our path, when we surrender our will to the source, we feel that the Supreme within us will guide us, mold us, shape us according to His own inner will.
Do you follow any particular diet?
No, well, I am a strict vegetarian, and my students are all strict vegetarian.
Why vegetarianism?
We know deep within us there are animal qualities. We quarrel, we fight, we are jealous of others, and we do many things undivine. Now, when you look at an animal, you see these are the animal qualities and propensities we see around us. But if we eat meat, then the qualities of the animal world enter into us. Whereas if we eat vegetables, then the mild qualities of the vegetable kingdom enters into us. So we are trying to have a quiet, mild life. Therefore, it is advisable to be vegetarian if one wants to expedite the spiritual progress.
Gurudev, it is obvious to you that there are scientists out there, I'm sure, who hear you say that if one eats meat, one acquires the mentality of the animal.
One becomes restless. That's all. Now here we're trying desperately to become calm and quiet and tranquil, so it will not serve our purpose.
How do you respond to the skeptical scientist, though, who says, how can you prove this?
Spirituality is not something to prove. And if I know what I am doing, satisfies me. I do not have to budge an inch to prove to you or anybody the very fact that I am enjoying what I am supposed to enjoy. So here, by proving to others, what do we gain? We just enter into the world of confusion and contradiction. Whereas if I know that I am enjoying nectar, divine bliss, let the whole world criticize me or disbelieve me, I will not pay any attention to it. For if I know what my goal is, and if I am in my goal, let the world tell me that I have not come even to the starting point. I shall not mind.
Tell me this, I assume you began in India. You were born in India, studied in India. Could you tell us a little bit about your background and why you came here?
I came here because I was commanded by my inner pilot. Therefore, I came here to serve him in the aspiring West. And I was brought up in a spiritual community. I stayed there for 20 years. At the age of 12, I started practicing spirituality.
Many people would like to know, and this is a Western question, although not mine, but I feel free to ask it, my inner pilot, I guess. Why would you leave India? Why do many other spiritual masters leave India when there is great need and trouble in India?
Now, about others, I have no right to say anything. As regards my own spirituality, as regards my coming over to the West, I could say that in my case, I do not make any choice. I have no freedom of my own. If just today, if my inner pilot commands me to go back to India, I will be the happiest person. And I always listen to the dictates of my inner pilot. For me, there is no such thing as America or India or Europe or Africa. This world belongs to my inner pilot. So today he wants me to be in America in a particular home, and tomorrow he can ask me to be in another home. So I will be always ready to abide by his command.
How are your spiritual lectures conducted? Most Westerners are familiar to some extent with a Mass in a Catholic church or a Protestant ceremony or a Jewish ceremony. Can you describe what you do?
I give talks and I answer questions, and also I teach my students, my disciples all over the world how to meditate. And I have written, as you know, considerably, and also I help them inwardly. God, out of His infinite bounty, has given me the capacity to communicate with the souls of the seekers. So I teach the souls of the individual how to convince the aspiring heart and the searching mind to pray and meditate. So I mostly deal with the souls. When the souls deal with the individuals, I feel it is most effective. Otherwise, when we give mantra to some individuals or ask them to practice some mantras, the mind comes to the fore. And the mind is right now all confusion. The mind needs illumination. Whereas if we start our journey right in the heart or with the heart, then heart is identification. Here we can establish our inseparable oneness with the soul right in the heart. So our path is the path of the heart and not of the mind.
Well, now I know, because it was written up in the newspapers here, that you presented a collection of your books to Mayor Beam. And the book stood 7 feet tall, which must have been very interesting next to our revered mayor. But I'd like to know how, with the meditating you do, teaching, how much time you allot for all these writings that you do?
I'm the first person to disbelieve all this, but I am a mere instrument of my inner pilot. If one surrenders one's will to the inner pilot, there is no such thing as impossibility. So it is the inner pilot that does everything in and through me, and I try to become a perfect instrument of his.
But do you allot different times during your day to accomplish certain tasks?
No, I have no set schedule.
No.
Well, I entirely depend on his will. This moment he will ask me to do something, and the next moment he will ask me to do something else. And there is no hard and fast rule in my life that I shall have to devote a few hours to this. Of course, I have to go to various places and I run centers. That I have to do it at a proper time schedule. But when it is a matter of composing songs or writing or painting, I have no fixed schedule.
That brings us to the point. I noticed that you brought a musical instrument with you. Could you show it to us and tell us what it is and perhaps play something?
Thank you.
What do you call this instrument?
We call it esrad. Esrad, it is an Indian instrument.
And is this used in your services?
This is one of the instruments that I use. If you are
Angel is a silver chalice, and the energy diamond white fire. Invite that fire as you focus on the symbol, the chalice, to hold the space, to hold the space. And to the north is Uriel, completing the circle on the horizontal plane. Archangel of earth, of structure, of power, of light. The symbol of this angel is a golden pentacle, and the energy, ruby red fire. As you focus on the symbol, inviting that fire into the space to hold the space, and breathe. Four angels, four energies, and open. And let's call the vertical force angels, beginning with Metatron from the above space of the great central sun, bringing that light down, golden white light down, through the stargate of our sun. Down into the earth plane, down into the structure you're sitting or meditating in. Down into the walls around you, the floor beneath you, the ceiling above you. Closing off the space, the entire space, windows, doors. And bring that energy down through the head, through the crown chakra, down through the head. Like a column of descending light down. Through the head to the throat and down, through the throat to the heart, anchoring into the heart, opening up the inner channel from heart upwards. To the below space, Sandophon of the crystalline grid of the earth, diamond white crystalline grid. To bring that light up into the feet, the room, the space. grounding the space and your energy field, the body. Grounding into the earth. And then inviting that light up through the base chakra into the torso, like a rising column of light up, going towards the heart. And anchoring into the heart, and opening the heart. Allowing that column of light from the heart downwards to open, creating one column of light. The light from the great central sun meeting the light from the crystalline grid of the earth, opening the inner channel. And let's invite Metatron and Xenophon to intensify that column of light, expanding it around the physical body. And let's invite archangels from Venus. Archangels from Venus into the space. To begin to transmit into this column of light a pearlescent pink ray into this column. Mixing with light from the great central sun, a gold and pearlescent pink. A transmission from the planet Venus. Just opens that transmission as it feels the physical body. The etheric body. And out into all layers of your field. Emotional, mental. Astral. Filling you with the light of Venus, and just opening to that transmission. Breathing and softening. Allowing that transmission deep into the body. The archangels to send a symbol of Venus, a 5-pointed star. Although this star could be called the 5 petals of Venus. For the points of the 5-pointed star look more like petals than triangles. Sending that symbol of Venus deep into the bones and blood. Allowing it to go particularly into the shoulder joints. Wrist joints. Hip joints. ankles. And from there, energizing the blood. Energizing the blood with this pearlescent pink. Breathing and opening, allowing more space in the body. The light from Venus gives you more space. And then the transmission shifts to the third eye, sending that symbol into the third eye. Allowing the expansion in the third eye, an expansion. Expanding your vision of what is possible for you in this earth plane. Expanding your ability to see, perhaps seeing energy or timelines, flows of energy. Allowing the transmission also to include the heart. Sending that symbol of Venus deep into the heart, the 5 petals of Venus. Allowing the symbol to release trauma, the trauma of heartbreak. From this lifetime, other lifetimes. Expanding your power of love, expanding the potential of love, unconditional love for self, for body, for energy fields, for your reality, for others. Also including the sacral. Sending that symbol deep into the sacral. The 5 petals of Venus releasing sexual trauma. If there is sexual trauma held there, releasing it. Increasing your vitality. Vitality of the sacral as you release old energies. A transmission deep into the bones and blood. Deep into the third eye, deep into the heart, and deep into the sacral. Creating more space in your field. With that. Let's also invite masters of light from Venus, the sixth-dimensional civilization of Venus, masters of light. Calling them into your space, around the column of light. Allow the masters to begin working on this column of light as they begin to create a new geometric shape around that column. They're creating a double-sided pyramid of golden white, pearlescent pink light. One point to the heavens and one point down to the crystalline grid. A double-sided pyramid. And you standing in the upper pyramid. At the base of the upper pyramid and below your feet is the downward pointing pyramid. Gold and white, pearlescent pink, double-sided pyramid. And the pyramid has 4 faces, 4 sides. This pyramid around you as a protection as you go through this 3D ascending world. Increasing your vibration, opening you up to love. Allowing that double-sided pyramid to begin to form and strengthen and intensify. Light in the physical body and all of your energy fields, column through you and around you. And also a double-sided pyramid holding your energy. And the Masters of Light begin to transmit to you the new human template, which is the shift from carbon-based to crystalline. This is the destiny of humanity, to also shift from a 2-stranded DNA to 12 strands. allowing the Masters of Light to send the symbol of Venus deep into the cells and deep into the DNA. Activating what needs to be activated. Opening what needs to be opened. Reassembling what needs to be reassembled. Allowing that transmission deep into the cells and DNA. Reminding you of your connection to Venus, the civilizations of Venus, the higher dimensional civilizations. Inviting that light into the earth plane. And filling yourself with this energy. So the invitation is to begin to send a transmission of light out through this double-sided pyramid, out across the earth plane. A pulse of pearlescent pink light out from your field. Allowing this pulse or this wave of light to begin to be sent to all other starseeds who have a connection to Venus on the earth plane now. Filling yourself with light, and as you're filled, so too you can begin to pulse light out around the earth plane. Sending it out in your immediate reality, your immediate neighborhood, perhaps city or beyond the city. Sending it out through the country you're living in. And beyond the borders of that country, a wave of light, sending it wherever it needs to go. feeling yourself held by archangels of Venus, transmitting to you the energy of the planet of Venus, and also masters of light, pulsing into you, this ray deep into the body, deep into the cells. And just absorb whatever you need to absorb, allowing this transmission to open, activate, reassemble, ignite, however it needs to do that. And allowing for an intensification of the transmission to whatever degree you feel comfortable with. Then a decrease in the intensity of the transmission, a decrease in the intensity, leaving this structure around you, this double-sided pyramid, allowing you now to begin to come back to your body, the light in the body, enabling you to go about your day with this higher frequency of light, allowing the archangels of Venus to begin to step back from your field, and also all masters of light from Venus to step back from your field. And also the archangels holding the vertical and horizontal planes to begin to decrease the intensity of this transmission. Thanking all of these angels and masters for this transmission, and also your team and spirit of the highest light and resonance, allowing them to step back as the intensity of the transmission decreases. And this transmission is offered you, as always, with love and blessings. Love and blessings.
দূরে চলে যাও, দূরে চলে যাও, পরাণে চল। আমি হতে চাই ভিতরে বাহিরে খুলতে হবে আর দুয়ার, খুলতে হবে খুলতে হবে আর দুয়ার, খুলতে হবে। শান্তি যদি পেতে চাও বিশাল শান্তি যদি পেতে চাও বিশাল তুলতে হবে, তুলতে হবে হিয়ার দুয়ার, তুলতে হবে হিয়ার দুয়ার, তুলতে হবে। শান্তি যদি পেতে চাও বিশাল হবে। নিমেষে নিমেষে শান্তি চাইব, নিমেষে 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 শান্তি চাইব, নিমেষে নিমেষে শান্তির বাণী যাব আমি, শান্তির বাণী নিয়ে যাব আমি, শান্তির বাণী নিয়ে যাব আমি। স্বদেশে
if you're returning, hello. Alright, I wanted to jump on here and get a message in for you guys. This message is going to be for my air signs, my fellow Aquarius, Geminis, and Libras. I'm going to get just a general energy reading, see what comes out, okay? See what energies are here with us that we need to know about, things that we need to work on. If you've been thinking about something, just need some clarification on that. Please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. Okay?
And the energy, electric blue fire.
Page of Cups and a Nine of Pentacles starting out.
Between friends, two. And then the in-breath.
I feel like this is like a new business
light
venture of some
into
sort.
the body, into the systems and organs of the body, the chakras of the body.
Maybe someone has
meridians
been
of the body.
single in their like thinking about starting to date again. You know. Yeah, I definitely see that. Somebody's like ready to get out there in the world and kind of be a fresh face. Yeah, and it's definitely time. I feel like you've been maybe stuck in this, not stuck, I'm not saying even stuck, but you've just been in the mode where you're like, okay, I'm doing me, you know, I learned who I am, I've created this business, or I've accomplished these things in my career, but now I feel like I need more, and that more is just going out there and like finding maybe new friends, new okay, I don't take cards in reverse, but that one did fall out in reverse, so I'm going to leave it in reverse. And the reason I'm leaving it in reverse, because I definitely feel this as, you know, the Knight of Pentacles can be a stagnant, or not really stagnant, but like a see it through type of energy. Like I have a goal, I'm going to take each and every step carefully to get to where I need to go. I'm not going to, you know, he's willing to take things slow, but with it in reverse, it's almost like you've completed whatever it is that you're at. With that Nine of Pentacles here, you are at a point where you're like, I've completed what my goals are right now, and now I'm almost looking to set new ones. All right, I'm willing to move forward because I'm at a level of completion. And this is like a newfound love. Maybe you've just got a new hobby that you got interested in, and you're like adding it to your list of things that you want to learn. You know, maybe you just found out, like you found a new group of people that are talking about maybe interesting things that you maybe never even thought about, but you're gaining interest on it. You know, you could be like in the news or in religion or something like that, but definitely like I see somebody who is wanting to expand their horizon. You know, they don't want to stay where they're at because they feel like they've completed it. And I feel like that's you. You know, you definitely feel like you've gotten to a point in life where you're like, you know, what else can I do? What else is out there for me? All right, I'm ready to explore the newness of my talents because I have all these things that I've accumulated. It's, you know, you may be like an older person or maybe even a young person who just had a lot of experience in life. But with this Nine of Pentacles and this Page of Cups, I'm just getting like you having a new interest in something. You know, the World card could be you traveling. You may want to travel the world and see new places. You're tired of your everyday surroundings. It could be you want to switch careers, or you want to just maybe join like maybe a new gym, or you want to learn a new instrument. You want to do something, but it's just like, you know, you feel like it's time to do that within yourself. You're ready to bring in a new cycle with this Justice card in this world. It's like the end of the beginning. It's like, you know, you're happy where you're at. You're not like, it's not that you're mad or you're upset or you're more bored, and you're wanting to just open up your horizons into new things. And that Justice is balancing the scales of that, of maybe what it is you're already doing and going into something new. Okay, so I definitely feel that energy here with this Four of Pentacles here. It's just like I said, and this, you know, the Hierophant is definitely like traditions and keeping things, you know, steady and tried and trusted ways. And that Four of Pentacles is kind of like holding on to those things, yes, but like I said, you're wanting to break free. You're wanting to see what new heights you can go to. You see there's a set of stairs here. He's willing to go to new heights. He's not, even though it's tradition, he wants to go the traditional route of climbing this ladder, you know. But there's nothing wrong with tradition, because traditions are here because they worked. They worked the first time, they worked a million times, and they're going to keep working. Okay. I don't know what just happened there, but okay. Yeah. So, with the High Priestess and the Moon, I feel like there is definitely like I said, it's just like you are almost afraid, not afraid, but you've been working on this like overnight. You've been working on this. You're thinking about it all the time. You know, maybe the last full moon, last few full moons, you've been manifesting this new energy that you're trying to bring into your life, and the releasing of any old stagnant energy. You know, because the high priestess and the moon, these are both the moon energy. The moon energy is cycles, the moon energy is secrecy, the moon energy is the unknown. So it's like, but this is your energy. This is you doing this. This is you doing like shadow work to really work on yourself. You know, you may be doing some meditations and things like that. So these are those like traditional routes to help you expand your awareness, your horizons, and things like that. I'm definitely feeling that energy. So, you know, this is really great energy for whatever newness you're trying to bring into your life. Continue manifesting it, continue working on it, you know, and it'll definitely come to you. But it's time. The energy is there. It's time. Chop wood. Chop wood is just like, you chop up wood because you're trying to build energy to either burn something, get rid of it, warm up the place. You're trying to like reinvigorate the space. So you chop up wood to either get rid of it, to reuse it for something else, or, you know, number 42 may be significant to you in some way. A leg up, and then you got yin. So yin energy is real soft energy, loving energy, harmonious. You know, it has a number 2 here. You have a leg up. So a leg up in society. Number 34 might be significant to you as well. So just with this energy that is here, it's just like, you know, this chopwood is you being ready to go into that new experience in your life. You know, you really saying, I'm not gonna, you know, let my dreams die. I'm gonna continue to work on them so that they come to fruition. Okay, you do have a leg up, and you know, this may be because you already gifted. This 9 of Pentacles right here is just like ultimate wish fulfillment in material things, you know, in the material world. And you balancing those scales, you being able to maybe, like I said, come up with a new idea that's going to feed your family even better than the way you're feeding them now. This could be just a new idea. It's like you've been really thinking about this, and the time has come for you to really break free into that. You've been given a leg up in this world, in this situation, for you to proceed and be successful, okay? And that yin energy is just the loving energy that's there. That's very much, like I said, that energy of being a duality. Maybe you have someone in your life that is helping you out right now, you know, that's you have a partner in crime, and not in a negative way, but just someone that's your yang to your yin, or you're the yin to their yang, or whatever that is. You know, but whatever it is that you have brewing right now is definitely beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna get a quick Moonology card. This energy is beautiful. So somebody is definitely step out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Somebody's literally step out of their comfort zone. Like, the world is being in this comfort zone, but you're no longer wanting to like stay there. Like, you've completed this, whatever weight you had to go through, whatever you were working on while you were standing here has been done. So it's time for you to step out of your comfort zone. Your scales have been balanced for you to step out of your comfort zone. So just go ahead. The Knight of Pentacles is, you know, in reverse is that energy of just going for this newness and not so much being stuck on what you've already been working on. You know, you're saying, I'm going to move forward, do what I have to do, and that's that. Nothing is set in stone, yes, because you have the power right now to create this newness. You know, it's just like I see this energy of like you are just ready to break free into a new era of your life, this new energy that needs to be, you need to plan out basically, you know, really plan it out and say, I'm going to do this, set your goals, set your intention, and make it as so, make it as such, you know, don't let anything stop you, anything, nothing at all, you can't. Okay, so this is my message for you. This is for my air signs. Once again, please only take what resonates with you. If you like the video today, I ask that you like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Today, I want to clear up one of the big misunderstandings that trips up a lot of newcomers to Forex trading. Many people who get the idea of buying and selling stocks and shares don't realize
Hi everyone, Pam Gregory Astrologer. I'm going to be speaking to you today about the second half of August and the new moon that we have coming up in Virgo on the 27th. But we really are entering a very powerful time in the year. I've been talking since January about, if you look back to my themes for 2022, I was talking about this period even then, how we're really starting to build to a crescendo in these last few months of the year, particularly September, October, November, I think are going to be huge for the world. And part of the reason, there are many, many astrological reasons I'm saying that, which we'll get into as we move through the next month or two. But one of the reasons is that the two very dominant aspects we've had over the last 2 to 3 years are coming back closer to exactitude. For instance, Eris in Aries, square to Pluto in Capricorn, we've had all through 2020, 21, 22. And Eris is the sister of Mars, she's warrior energy. Female warrior energy, and she really fights against elitism, she fights against inequality, she wants everybody in society to be heard, nobody excluded. And so she's very much about freedom, human rights, etc. But she's running up in that square against Pluto and Capricorn, which is about power and top-down power and control of large organizations, corporations, governments, and that's the clash. Very similar with Saturn square to Uranus. We've had that all through 2021, 2022, and that also is coming back. It will become an exact square again by degree in early October, but we'll be feeling it very strongly through the second half of September into really mid-November. Coming back to 18 degrees of Aquarius Taurus, very important degree of the feast. So Saturn is about the past, it's about government, it's about rules and regulations for your safety. It's very much about centralization of policy, whereas Uranus is about the future. It's about freedom, it's about not obeying the rules, it's about decentralization, grassroots up, communities, etc. So again, this is the clash. So you have to take those two very dominant aspects that have been so long running that are coming back much closer, and therefore we'll feel them more strongly in our lives. It really is about individual rights and freedoms versus the power of the state. So be aware that is a very strong backdrop to anything else we're experiencing at this time. Uranus is very highlighted all of this year, partly because it is in Taurus, and that is the same sign as the North Node. And indeed, it was exactly conjunct the North Node on the 31st of July and the 1st of August. But it will remain, it's only 2 degrees away now, and it will remain operationally conjunct the North Node really into February, March next year. So this is about quantum leaps in our evolution. And Uranus transits show us where we have already outgrown something. We have already outgrown something, because the urge with Uranus is always to get us to a higher state of being. to move us forwards, but it doesn't happen gradually or in a linear way. It happens in jumps. And because it's conjunct the North Node, this is a future collective direction. So it's very clear what the purpose of Uranus transits are. So it's very much an inner process as well. Sometimes we can have very shocking events on the outside, but it's also very much an inner process of these evolutionary jumps, which many of us feel that we're experiencing right now. And indeed, all of us are experiencing. Actually, it's just some people feel it more than others. So another very powerful time for Uranus happens on the 24th of the month. And this is when Uranus becomes stationary retrograde. Whenever a planet becomes stationary to change direction, it's like a huge ship slowing, stationing, and then gradually moving off in another direction. But Uranus is staying at that 18 degrees from now, really all the way through until early October, drilling down on 18 degrees. 18 degrees was where it also met Mars and the North Node at the beginning of August. So this 18 degrees is very, very highlighted of the fixed signs. Because when it comes back to square, Saturn, as I say, in early October, again, it is Saturn in Aquarius, fixed sign, square to Uranus in Taurus, fixed sign, 18 degrees for the fixed signs. You have anything between 17 and 19 degrees for the fixed signs, you are going to feel a restlessness, an intensity, a desire for change, or have change imposed on you from the outside. That's how it tends to work. It often comes in really fast, out of the blue, because Uranus is speedy. So those few days around the 24th are going to see strong Uranian energy. And again, this can manifest as earthquakes, volcanoes, extreme earth events. It can be political or financial earthquakes. It can be shocks, surprises, sudden radical news, truth, awakening. Big time. This is the planet of truth and awakening. And again, these are more internal processes for people. Uranus is also the planet to do with linked to aviation, and because of the square to Saturn, Saturn is limitation. So have we seen some disruptions in aviation in recent times? Yes, we have. Lots of disruptions at airports, cancellations of flights, etc. Ground crew of Lufthansa going on strike. 1,000 flights had to be cancelled that day. We are likely to continue to see aviation disruptions through the rest of this year. Equally, Uranus is also about electricity, power. It's about the internet. And so again, we may see some power cutouts or even internet cutouts as we move through the next few months. But know that the purpose of this is to move us from Saturn to where we've been in our state of being, that's much more of a sort of tangible 3D reality, into a higher state of being. That's what this whole square is about, and its conjunction, Uranus' conjunction to the North Node. So just know that it has purpose. It's interesting if I look at the Sabian symbol for 18 degrees of Taurus. I've mentioned Sabian symbols in the past. They're very beautiful, often very descriptive of what is unfolding, and they were channeled back in the 1930s, I think, by a medium called Elsie Wheeler, and they have been used by astrologers ever since. And with Sabian symbols, you have to kind of round up to the next degree to read them. So if I look at 19 degrees of Taurus, the symbol for that is a new continent rising out of the ocean. A new continent rising out of the ocean. Now, I think that's really interesting because Uranus in Taurus, Uranus is new, and Taurus to do with the earth, the land. It's a very good symbol for new earth, actually, Uranus in Taurus. So is this suggesting that this will be literally a new continent, new land emerging from the sea? Or is it much more of a metaphor for new earth that, of course, is already established in frequency? It's not a place, it's a frequency. I don't know. Or is it both? I don't know. We will have to wait and see, but I think that's very interesting. Okay, so and the new moon, let us now start to look at that. The new moon happens on the 27th of August. It happens at 1:16 a.m. Pacific and 9:16 a.m. UK time. So let me share the screen and take you through this chart. Okay, so here we can see the new moon, 4 degrees 3 minutes of Virgo. See where that falls in your chart, 4 degrees of Virgo. You can download a free birth chart from my website if you don't know, and then if you go to the link below this video, you can buy a 2-part video series which will explain all that you need to know about where this falls for you, which house area, and what it means for you, and how to find the meaning for every update I ever do. So it's a really wonderful beginning to your astrological journey. So this is the new moon, and Virgo, if you think of the glyph for Virgo, it's the sheath of corn. And so Virgo is often very linked to grains. In the Northern Hemisphere, we're starting, as we get towards September, move towards our harvest. So it is very linked to literally harvesting our food, our grains. And that theme around grains is quite highlighted because I haven't drawn her in here, but Saturn is actually directly opposing the asteroid Ceres that is linked to agriculture, particularly grains and harvests, Ceres being directly opposed to Saturn there. So that is again suggesting some disruption in our food supplies from time to time. And I talked about that a great deal, and just be aware and plan accordingly. I think it is also not just about harvesting food, I think it is harvesting spiritually. It's gaining the harvest of the work that we have put in spiritually. I think it's very linked to that. And also, Virgo is the planet linked to habits, daily habits, and it's very much ruled by Mercury, the planet of the mind. So this is where our mind, this negative self-talk can rumble around our heads of, not good enough, not young enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, can kind of rumble through our days, and it doesn't help us get anywhere at all. So this new moon in Virgo can help us birth some new habits, daily habits around our thinking, to replace those negative thoughts, those negative habitual, continually running around the hamster wheel, to something much more positive. I am abundant. I have everything I need in life. I live in a world of magic and miracles. Whatever you choose, and you can have several, stick them on post-it notes all over your kitchen, and be sure to replace the negative with the positive. Great time to do this. Virgo is the sign par excellence for detailed analysis, absolutely getting the T's crossed and the I's dotted, absolute precision, getting everything right with the facts and the information. And this is interesting because I think we're going to be looking at a lot of information that we want to sift through for two other reasons in this. We will see here that actually Mars here at 4 of Gemini, I'll come back to talk about that in a moment, is trying to Mercury. So this energizes the mind. It also energizes the mind because Mars is in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, sign of the mind. And so we're going to have a lot of mental activity and a lot of information, as I say. And what's that information going to be about? Well, I think Mars in Gemini has the potential to be very quick mentally. It can also be witty, but it can also have a sense of irritability or frustration coming through. And we may even see this expressed as anger on social media, a lot of flare-ups on social media, because Gemini is one of the signs linked to social media along with Aquarius. Or it can be even anger at certain media around the facts and the information. I think this is going to be a really big theme, because Mercury, which is the ruler of Virgo, of this new moon, and also the ruler, as I say, of Gemini, is on the world axis. It's at 1 degree of Libra, 1 degree 17 of Libra. And remember, 0 of the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, give or take 2 degrees either way, is the world axis. So whatever information and facts we are, through our detailed analysis, Virgo, bringing to the fore, they are going to be very important for the world, because Mercury is on the world axis. It's going to be, in front of the public in a bigger way than normal. And there may even be some legal implications to that, because the 2 signs that are connected to the law are Libra and Sagittarius. So we will see what unfolds. But what I also want to mention, before so much to say here, is going back to Mars in Gemini. Mars has just entered Gemini, as we can see. It is going to stay in Gemini for 8 months, and that's very unusual. Very unusual. It's because of a major retrograde that is going to be happening with Mars starting at the end of October. But Mars will stay in Gemini essentially through till, I think it's March 25th next year. So this is going to energize our mind. And this is going to be very interesting, because Mars likes to focus. It has a single pointed focus. It's very, very good at that. But Gemini is mutable air. So if you can imagine, if you shine a light through a prism and it scatters, it's divergent energy. Gemini tends to be very divergent in its expression. Now that can be wonderful because it's extremely creative. I've got Gemini friends who are genius level creative, who can multitask brilliantly, sort of come up with a creative idea and turn it into very different forms here and there. I really respect their ability creatively, but it can make you scattered.
And I've only got 3 days to fulfill my promise. So it's the moons of Saturn. Interesting what Pam was talking about with Saturn, Uranus there. So I've only got 3 days left. Moons of Saturn. I've got to really do some serious memory work now. I'm going to remember these in 3 days. Enceladus, Tethys, Dione, Mimas, Epimetheus, got D ring, C ring, F ring, Prometheus, Pandora. Okay. The more we type and say them, the more we group them together, the more we visualize them, everything helps to fix it. Write it into a song. Titan, Hyperion, Iapetus, Phoebe, Rhea, Dione, Tethys, Enceladus, Amos, E-ring, James, Prometheus, J-ring, A-ring, Outer Edge, Atlas, Deathring, Prometheus, Pandora, B-ring, C-ring, D-ring, and Cassini division, Ink division. There's the intuition thing. This is from 2007. Prometheus, Pandora, Epimetheus, Janus, Atlas, Daphnis, A-ring. Why did we not have Daphnis? It's the innermost. Egg gap. Mindless. Of this. Enceladus. One of the brightest objects in the solar system. Iacus is yin yang. have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we're not even a third of the way there. Pan is the innermost. Deafness. Atlas is at the outer edge of the A-ring. Alright, now let's see if we can have a list that we can print out.
Mars is trying to pull it together. So just think about this as we move through these months, because there's going to be a lot to be scattered about. Urgent energy, creative, who can multitask brilliantly, sort of come up with a creative idea and turn it into very different forms here and there. You know, I really respect their ability creatively, but it can make you scattered, whereas Mars is trying to pull it together. So just think about this as we move through these months, because there's going to be a lot to be scattered about. There's going to be a lot of information, a lot of drama, a lot of colour as we build to our crescendo. It's very easy to be over there, over here. But Mars is asking us to have mastery of our mind to come back to one-pointedness. At the end of the day, one-pointedness is what it's all about in terms of our mastery. It's super important. And I think what is also very exciting here, just thinking about the Sabian symbol I mentioned of a new continent rising out of the ocean, you will see here that Mercury at 1 of Libra is very, very tightly opposite Manwe, Kuiper Belt object, dwarf planet Manwe, M-A-N-W-E, at 104 of Aries. Now Manwe is also on the world axis, first degree of the zodiac, new beginnings. And these Kuiper Belt objects are just fascinating for me, because I think our regular, what I call bread and butter planets that we've known for so many years, they almost operate as Virgo does, almost at the day-to-day level of coming and going, our family, our work, our habits, how we spend our days and our thinking. But it's almost more at the personality level, if you like. Whereas what I find really exciting at the Kuiper Belt object level, this is quantum consciousness. This is a leap. This is where we really start to have a sense of spiritual connection together at that high level.
83 in this list.
We have a spiritual connection to Gaia, a spiritual connection to Source, a spiritual connection to all that is, a sense of spiritual purpose in our lives that we don't always have at our day-to-day level. Indeed, I think there are many people who have a sense of meaninglessness. They go through, they get up, they go to work, they come home, they watch Netflix, they go to bed, they get up, there's an all-pervading sense of meaningless very often at that separated individual level. But what the Kuiper Belt objects are teaching us, or going to teach us increasingly, now we've discovered them in the last 20 years or so, is how to have that sense of spiritual purpose, of quantum evolution, jumps, and our connection with each other, holding hands across the world to create something really beautiful. And to remind you of the symbolism of Manway, and again I'm quoting from the research of Kelly Hunter. She did the research. I'll put her website underneath here, so I'm very much using her work. Manway is described as the highest intelligence of divine source, the closest to the mind of God, a spiritual dedication of light over dark, and very much connected to world renewal. World renewal, new continent rising out of the ocean, new earth, new consciousness. Manway in myth, together with Vada, his wife, created the cosmos. Are we seeing a whole new creation of a whole new world, earth, consciousness moving forwards? I think this is really exciting. They are giving us, the Kuiper Belt objects are giving us a very different vision going forwards of our future, which is not the gloomy doomy one that is everywhere today. And that is really inspiring. Something else that's very important, which I haven't mentioned before, but I think it's really, really important for us to understand, is the square here between Saturn at 20 of Aquarius and Uranus at 18 of Taurus is, as I say, going to become tighter into early October, so they're both going to be at 18 of their signs. But Uranus has a lower degree. It's at 18, Saturn is at 20. So what that means is, as the personal planets go around in their faster orbits, the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, etc., they come into aspect with Uranus first. Come into conjunction, square, opposite, whatever, trine. So there's a sense of change and surging forwards and breakthrough. And then a short time later, could be hours, days, whatever, weeks, depending on the speed of those personal planets, they then hit Saturn, which is the reality check. Oh, we thought we had the breakthrough. Oh, we thought we saw truth. Oh, we thought there was change. But then we hit the reality check, or the wall, or the stoppage of some kind. I want to be really aware of that, because ultimately Uranus wins in these battles. Uranus wins because it's the planet of the future, it's the further out planet, etc., the planet of change. But we're going through a period, and this may last even into November, and I'd say absolute worst case to kind of February, March, when Saturn leaves Aquarius totally and moves into Pisces. It may even be that we just keep hitting the buffers, just keep hitting, yeah, are we there? Is there a breakthrough? Well, are we going to see change? No, just hit something else, some kind of control mechanism. So I want you to be aware of that, because that's part of the astrology, and it doesn't mean that Uranus isn't going to win the day, because it is, because it absolutely is. And then we get the real push through, I think, in the last few months of this year, may even be very late in this year, and into the early couple of months of next year, and then we start to see change. So, but the other thing I wanted to point out is Venus here at 19 of Leo is actually forming a T-square, or fixed signs T-square, to Uranus and Saturn. And if Venus at 19 of Leo is falling in your 5th house or your 7th house of relationships, again, check your chart, this can bring in a kind of push-pull around relationships. Do you want to stay in the security, the stability of the relationship, or do you want freedom and independence? It can be that kind of a seesaw, and it can bring in some volatility in stock markets, though I think that could be more into September, October, but also changes in currencies. Venus is linked to currencies. The other thing I'd just like to mention, I'll stop sharing my screen here, but obviously there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of charts for me to look at, so I can't kind of catch them all, but I mentioned, I think in the last video, that the moon of the EU is being very highlighted by this 18 degrees of the fixed signs. If we look at Canada, and the chart I'm using for Canada is the 1st of July 1867, 0 hours, i.e. midnight in Ottawa, then that 18 degrees of the fixed signs is picking up Saturn. Saturn in the Canadian chart at 17 of Scorpio is the midheaven ruler. So the midheaven in a country's chart is the government or the leader. The new moon at 4 degrees of Virgo is conjunct the Mars in that Canadian chart. It's actually at 5 degrees of Virgo. It's conjunct the Canadian Mars, and Mars is the chart ruler for the Canadian chart because it has an Aries ascendant at 16 degrees of Aries. Of interest, transiting Chiron is right on that ascendant too. So the Canadian chart is quite activated at the moment. So what all of that means is there is likely, particularly as we tip into September, be more challenge or confrontation, if you like, around leadership and government in Canada, and possibly even a change of identity, the ascendant for Canada. We will see what unfolds. The other country that is being aspected, triggered by this 18 degrees of the fixed signs that I've talked so much about, is for China. That chart is the 1st of October 1949, 15:15 local time, Peking. The midheaven ruler is Pluto at 17 degrees of Leo, 17 degrees of the fixed signs. So again, this is the government, the leadership of China is being challenged because this Uranus-Saturn square could throw curveballs, in the Canadian situation and curveballs in the Chinese situation. So again, we will wait to see what unfolds. We're going to see an awful lot of speed, changing events, color, drama. We are just on the precipice of that kind of turbulence, let's say. So if we come back to our new moon in Virgo, very linked to the mind, ruled by Mercury, we look at Mars in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, energizing that other sign of the mind. We are going to have an awful lot to potentially distract us. Look over here, look over here, hey, look over here. Another really scary thing over there. But if we allow that to happen, our energy is going to get very scattered. We're going to give our power away to the people, the circumstances, the events on which we are focusing, because that's how quantum reality works. I said in a previous video, your focus is food. Your focus is food to energize what you absolutely don't want more of. It's really simple. And so we have to be disciplined enough in our mind and in our focus, Mars in Gemini, to bring that all back and say, yeah, there's 10 tons of drama out there, but I am going to have the mastery and the discipline to turn inwards where I have a one-pointed focus. I have a one-pointed focus on my breath, dropping into the heart, imagining I'm breathing in love, and I'm breathing out love to my heart's toroidal field, which, by the way, is the biggest toroidal field for your body. It's way bigger than the toroidal field of your brain. I'm going to breathe in love through my heart, and I'm going to breathe out love to the world. And if enough of us do that across the world, doesn't matter if we speak Egyptian or Ethiopian, it doesn't matter. The language barrier doesn't matter. This is an energetic, this is a frequency, coming, a convergence, coming together, building a wave, building a momentum to say we want more love in the world. So just imagine that you're holding hands digitally and globally with all of those other like-minded people who want the same. And remember what Dr. Joe Dispenza says, what Dr. Bruce Lipton says, what Dr. David Hawkins said in all his work. It takes a tiny percentage of us, 1 or 2%, to actually affect the collective for the better. But as long as we're focused on the stuff we don't want, it acts like a ball and chain to delay the much better world and earth that we could be living in. So So see yourself as an accelerator of New Earth, a creator, that you're focusing only on what you want to create and see in this world. And be absolutely tough with yourself. No, we're not going over there. You know, spiritual blinkers. No, we're not going to look over there. Yep, really tempting because it's really dramatic, but we're going to have the discipline to bring ourselves back. And then if you turn inwards, it's so simple. It's so simple. There aren't 1,000 things to focus on. There's really one thing. That single-pointed focus on. That's what we've got to learn. And that's partly what this new moon is about too. I hope that's helped you. We seem to say things that I don't plan towards the end of these videos, but maybe they're the most useful things I can say actually beyond the astrology. So I hope it's been helpful for you. If you'd like more information about my books, my teaching videos, my monthly newsletter, just check out my website, pamgregory.com. Don't forget to set a new intention at this Virgo new moon, and God bless. We are going into the most exciting time of human evolution.
If you wear glasses or contacts, you must see this. An award-winning doctor reveals an astonishing, natural way to reclaim the 20/20 vision you were born with in record time. Did you know?
so much, I went on to become a teacher. And then it was a few years later that a friend of mine, Sue, asked me to come out to do healing on these two ladies out in the forest. And afterwards, the lady, Lorraine, that I did, she said to me, I'm really sorry I can't pay you, but would you like to meet my unicorn? So I looked at my friend and sort of nudged her as if to say. Anyway, we went outside and it was a cold November evening. It was the most magical evening. There was a fence around the field. There was two big trees in the middle. So Lorraine said, I'll call her, but I don't know if she'll come. So her name was Shakira. Yeah, beautiful name. So she called her, and about 4 minutes later, this black horse ran through these two trees, but she said, no, that's not her. I don't know if she will come. So we waited again. She called her again. And all of a sudden, this amazing grey and white, majestic horse just galloped through these two trees. We just stood there hugging each other, thinking, my goodness me, we are so blessed to have seen that. It was just the most magical thing I've ever seen.
Unicorns. The Unicorn documentary pilot.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Release 2020. The unicorns asked me to spread information about them to the world. They impressed on me to make the pilot for a documentary to demonstrate that there is enough interest in them for a TV company to commission a full documentary. With divine synchronicity, the very next day a friend was coming to lunch who happened to be a filmmaker. I asked him for advice, and he recommended a documentary maker, Dylan. I asked if anyone was prepared to talk about their unicorn stories, and was surprised how many people responded. I chatted to many of them and was blown away by some of the stories. I sent the recordings to Dylan and he chose 3.
Welcome to this unicorn documentary. I'm Diana Cooper, and I love the unicorns. It wasn't always like that. because we have raised our frequency to a level that they can connect with us again. They are here to bring enlightenment to humanity at this time.
Hi Tim.
Hi Diana.
You're a psychic medium, aren't you?
I am. I used to be a racing cyclist back in my teens. I was riding down a hill very fast and I rode into a tractor at 35 miles an hour. My spirit left my body for 20 minutes. Most people go to the light at the end of the tunnel. I was riding to the end of the tunnel very shortly afterwards. I was dragged back into my body. Of course I woke up with a headache. But afterwards things had changed.
What was your first unicorn experience?
And it was about 2014 and it was the spring equinox. And I can remember doing a powerful meditation in the morning to connect energy to a stargate, which exists in the Stargate of Lyra. I saw the Stargate of Lyra opening and this beautiful beam of energy connecting with our planet. And the intention of this was to raise the vibration of Earth even further. This beam of light, this intense energy that was coming down, was accompanied by millions of unicorns. I'm not just talking about one or two. It was like a sea of them coming down to planet Earth. It was difficult to ascertain where one unicorn finished and another unicorn began.
It started when I was 6. I lost my father in a car crash. It was a terrible time for me. And I started to soul search then, why do some people have good lives and some have to suffer? One day I went to see a friend who told me about doing Reiki. I fell in love with it so much, I went on to become a teacher. And then it was a few years later that a friend of mine, Sue, asked me to come out to do healing on these two ladies out in the forest. And afterwards, the lady, Lorraine,
Whatever the scientist, I'm always asking questions, and I love just going straight to source. He comes from the Andromeda galaxy, so all unicorns are galactic in nature, but his focus is very much to do with Mother Earth's evolution. And anybody can call on Hethgar. He is very much an ambassador for the different types of unicorns.
They've been sent to us to show us that there is something magical about our planet Earth. There's something phenomenal coming. They told me that.
They were telling me everything was stepping up. This was a point where the energy on this planet is just getting higher and higher, and they were basically preceding a wave of energy that was going to shift the planet.
Basically, we are all part of the divine. We are all part of each other, and oneness is one of the energies that is coming back in now as the entire planet is moving towards the new golden age.
They were simply saying, trust. Everything is going to plan. Everything is going to be all right.
I think it's just a belief. You have to believe that there's nothing to be afraid of, that they're there to help us to move forward.
We all need confirmation. We all need to know that everything's going to be all right. And they were saying, yeah, crack on, do whatever you're doing, encourage others, bring your message forward, tell people that we're here. It gave me a lot of hope for what was coming on this planet.
Hello, Kirsten. You're a medical doctor, aren't you? That's right. And so you've been in practice in hospitals? I have been practicing in hospitals for a couple of years until I had my own severe health issues. And then I started to looking for natural ways of healing. And I started to read lots of spiritual books. And I discovered your first book about unicorns, and it fascinated me. Before I started treating patients, I always connected with the energies of the unicorns and the angels. I invited them to come into my aura, and then I asked them to treat the patient, to give healing energy to the patient for their highest good. It made a big difference. It's fun to work with the unicorns, right? Because they are light. Yes, they are light, yes. And so I believe today you are going to take a patient through a process connecting with the unicorns. Yes, that will be amazing. Diane, you came here to do a unicornic and experience unicorn healing. Did you have any encounters with unicorns before? Not knowingly. So is there anything you would like the unicorns to heal for you? Any mental, emotional, or physical issues?
Yes, a few things. I've got some problems with digestive disorders. I see. I'd like to move forward into my life. Just generally, really, without any blockages.
I will guide you through an inner journey, and you will meet your personal unicorn, make contact with your personal unicorn, get to know his name, that you can call him anytime later after this inner journey, and then you will receive some healing from the unicorn and also some information that will help you on your life path. And so you feel that there is a physical way of measuring the healing that you do with the unicorns?
We could certainly measure it with aura photography, whereby we could assess how bringing through and channeling essentially the unicorn energy affects our auric field.
Every thought and emotion you have sends an energy around you, and those energies create colours, and that's the colours of your aura. And the aura camera picks up that electromagnetic energy, the colours of your aura, and translates them so that you can literally see what your aura is like from the pictures. If you're very stressed and you're adrenalized, you'll find that your aura is red. If you're very wise, you might have a deep gold colour in your aura. Balance is usually green, and that's also healing, and blue is very healing. This aura shows the green of balance and healing. It also shows the yellow of the thoughts that she's having. And a lot of people do this. They think and think about everything, and that reflects as yellow in their aura. So
I'm inviting you to just lean back in your chair and just relax completely. You can close your eyes softly. You take in the colors. You take in the sound of Mother Nature. And you feel the peace and the beauty of this special healing place. And you already feel an excitement inside you, because you feel that some energy is approaching you. It comes nearer and nearer. And now you can see that it is a beautiful, shining unicorn that is walking towards you. You can see the energy spiraling out from his front head, and you feel invited to get closer to your unicorn, to touch it, stroke it, or hug it. And your unicorn is sending a final blast of shimmering, white, sparkling unicorn energy into your fields, into your body. And you feel cocooned in this divine healing light. So now you see how you can call your unicorn very easily and ask him for guidance, for healing, for whatever you need.
And how did you enjoy your unicorn journey?
It was very powerful. I loved it, and I didn't actually want it to end.
And did you get your unicorn's name?
Sid.
Sid. Now, I love that, because unicorns can have really fabulous and exotic names, or they can have something very simple. So what was the most important part of the journey for you?
A little way in, my heart started to beat quite fast. I was very aware of my heart beating.
They are literally looking into your heart and seeing your essence, who you truly are. And that makes a very powerful experience, because not many people do that.
I feel a bit more at peace now than I did earlier.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see how your aura has changed.
Okay, if I can tell you now to put your hand on the biosensor, you have the hand on there, and I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I got it. You can remove your hand.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. I think that's extraordinary. And when it first came out, there was mauve at the top. And since then, it's changed to pink. This is absolute unicorn energy lighting up your aura. You are going to find your life changes. This makes a soul shift for you. This was totally astonishing. This is Diane's aura before she was introduced to the unicorns. As you can see, it's very, very yellow. That's because she was thinking a lot. But we also see that there's a break in her aura. Now this means that she doesn't have the protection that she needs, and lower energies can sift in and continue this process of thinking. And the incredible energy of the unicorns has shifted that, and they came right in to heal her. You can see that that area has been completely sealed. It has changed her colours totally to one of pure white spiritual energy. It is a transcendent energy, a higher dimension of spirituality. And this pink is the pure, unconditional love above her and below. And that is what heals you and enables you to raise your frequency to ascension.
Occasionally people would come to me and they are ready to move into the next stage of their pathway, or things are going to really step up for them. And at that point I'd always see the unicorns coming through the chakra above the top of their heads, which is known as the causal chakra. And it'd almost come through at 45 degrees, and it'd be the same every time. And it'd be, oh, you've got a unicorn coming through, and that would be my verification that they are ready to take a big step on that spiritual pathway.
Science is catching up. Quantum physics is now sharing with us that we are all energy. And not only that, there's not just one plane of existence, there is many, there's multiple, and they're all existing in this one moment.
I do hope you enjoyed this documentary about the awesome unicorns and enjoyed seeing how they can literally affect your energy fields by their presence. The angelic realms are vast, and we will be looking at angels and archangels, dragons, the golden era of Atlantis, when the energy was the highest it's
به